Hey everybody, Diggs here. It's another beautiful day out here in the Pacific Northwest. Today, we're going to be talking about the new Disgaea RPG mobile game that just came out. I have played a lot of Disgaea games. I haven't beaten a lot of them, but I have played a lot of Disgaea. And I can tell you for a fact, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely really different than probably what a lot of Disgaea players are expecting. Let's go ahead and dig in, find out whether or not you should be playing this and what my first impressions are. I think my first impressions are fun, entertaining, and honestly, after playing about 10 hours in the game, I haven't even unlocked all of the functions or the gameplay yet. So it's very, I don't want to say there's a lot of content. There is a lot of content, right? I am 100% free to play right now, so I have not spent any money on this game, and I haven't felt like I've needed to. It is pretty interesting that the Christmas event is coming out as well, because it's like we're in the middle of April, but it's still a lot of fun. Probably the thing people are going to be most interested in is the combat, the gameplay loop, you know, what kind of keeps you going. So you have the main story, you have events, you have Netherworld history, which is basically like the main story that's telling you the story of Disgaea if you haven't played all the games. You have Dark Gates, which is basically your like, you know, EXP chamber, gold chamber, and then you have Item World, right? So I'm going to show you Item World because no doubt everybody kind of expects main story, right? Everybody knows what main story is going to be, but we're going to do Item World to kind of show off the combat here. So I have been working on a specific piece of armor here, and I have been working on not the demonic curry. Let's do the diploma. So you can see here, every piece of gear, of course, has level, it has rank, it has rarity, it has equipment level, right? Pretty much everything you would expect from a Disgaea game. What's a little bit unique, and maybe this has been in some other Disgaea games, I just don't remember it, is the innocence system on the equipment. You can basically discover innocence in equipment in Item World, which kind of buff different pieces of equipment. You can take them from one equipment, put them on another equipment. If you're familiar with any Final Fantasy style game, it's kind of like the materia system. So it's kind of fun. It's very enjoyable. There's definitely a gameplay loop that is, you know, rewarding. You kind of, for Item World, you just go in, and this is going to be your first peek at the battle. And, you know, let me actually take auto off here. One of the things you're going to notice is I have ×4 speed right away. This is awesome. The fact that you can have ×4 speed, that the speed multi is not blocked behind a paywall, is super cool. Let's turn on the effects because I want you to see just how cool the game is. It definitely has that feel, right? You're gonna see kind of the effects of Disgaea going off here. You got like Love Punch. You of course have Sexy Beam with Etna. You can see I've got a Prinny on my team. And what you're probably noticing is this is not a tactics game like a lot of Disgaeas, or pretty much all the Disgaeas that I've played. It's actually more of an RPG, very similar to Brave Exvius, very similar to other games. You actually have like a speed bar down at the bottom determining which character takes actions next. And it's different from a lot of games because you're not like chaining attacks. It's a traditional RPG essentially. And you of course have like lift mechanics you can do where you can lift up an ally and throw them, right? You can lift a Prinny up, throw the Prinny, and it's gonna blow things up. But it's at its core a very traditional RPG. And I don't know if that hurts or helps it right now. It's definitely made it more engaging, right? My biggest fear with Disgaea Mobile or Disgaea RPG when I was going to play it is that they were going to implement the tactic system poorly. Very similar to like War of the Visions in some aspects, right? But this is actually, you know, it feels good. It feels like a Disgaea game, even though the combat system's completely different. I do miss, you know, not being able to light up item panels in like Item World and stuff and deal damage that way. Like I miss kind of the creativity of that. But overall, the combat system, it feels good, right? It feels good to watch the effects go off. It's very Disgaea-esque, right? And it's kind of just what you would expect. You don't always have to play on auto. You can always attack as well. It's pretty standard, right? Like you can see, you just select attack, you go through. Personally, I auto all the time. My one concern with this system is how complex and deep it's going to be. This might turn out to be a game that's kind of focused on just grinding and not necessarily strategy, right? Because a lot of it's going to be focused on getting to level 99, right? They have a reincarnation system, and we'll talk about all the different systems in this game here. Let's actually hop out and talk about that, because no doubt a lot of people are curious, you know, how do you develop your characters? What level can they get to? How does all of that work? And it's very similar to other Disgaea games. And no doubt, right, a lot of people are gonna be like, okay, so you have a star system, right? So you can awaken your units up. So you can see we have 1 star, 2 star, 4 star, and you can, what appears to be, level your units up to 5 stars. And I believe that's the cap. I haven't researched this game. This is just kind of, you know, me spitballing and showing you guys what I'm doing right now. So if I wanted to level the star level on a character, right? Let's take this Prinny, for example. I would need 5 1-star characters to make him a 2-star. And you can see that when he becomes Private Prinny and not Apprentice Prinny, that he's going to be getting more stats, right? So that's what the stars do. And that's how you would kind of do stars. Now, there is also a dupe system. So this is a dupe game, right? So you do have to pull dupes, and some of them are farmable, like the Prinnies. And I can show you with my Prinny right here, right? You have what's called Evility. This is also called NE, but Evility is as you add more dupes to your units, they are going to get passives. And these passives are pretty powerful, right? All stats plus 10% except speed. That's extremely powerful. They are very unique to the units as well. So for example, damage dealt by throwing Prinnies is plus 100% for my Prinny. You can just kind of merge them right here, and you can see, like, if I give this Prinny, if I merge these Prinnies, I'm going to get speed plus 7% when battle begins, which is pretty good, right? So that's kind of the 2 ways that you power up your characters, right? And from what I can tell, every character seems to be viable. There's definitely characters who are better. I think probably the best character right now that I've seen is Dreco, is my understanding, or Dresco. Whatever the tentacle girl is. You also have the function called Reincarnation. Now, Reincarnation, I don't have any characters right now that are viable for Reincarnation, so let me pull up my party menu and I will show you the Reincarnation style. So you can see that all of my units are level 177 right now, ish, give or take. So the level cap, what happens if I go to like another unit, like this Prinny, you will see that the level cap is 100. So once you get a unit to level 100, you have to reincarnate them back to level 1, but their level cap is going to increase to 200. Once they get to 200, you reincarnate them again, and then you increase their level to 300, so on and so forth. While we're on the equipment screen, let's go ahead and talk about the variety of things you can do to gear up your characters as well. Of course, you have weapons and 3 armor slots. Now, gear is really important in this game, from what I can tell. And I haven't quite figured out the full gearing system, but basically units can equip different gears. You can skill up with skill books the different weapons that they can equip. You can get abilities. So like this Prinny has Prinny Barrage, right? But if we go to my main character, Mao, you can see that Mao has Blast Finger, he has Star, right? So this is going to be only when you have like a staff equipped. This is going to be like a fist attack. This one's going to be a sword attack, right? So you have all of these varieties of attacks. You can see what their stats are based off of. All of these sort of details. And as you level up weapon skills, you get skills. As you level up the character, you get skills. And there's just a lot of skills out there. So there's kind of that. You can also enhance the skills levels. The complexity of this game is definitely not in like the actual battle itself. It's really in the preparation, the gear, the skills that you have set, the skill levels, right? Like that's where the meat of this game is. You are going to be in item world forever. I'm pretty much at the point of the game, you get to this point probably around episode 3, where your characters start having difficulty, right, with the enemies in story, which is something I'm not used to. Usually in gacha games, When you have what you think are strong characters, you're able to blast through the story and unlock all of the content, but you'll actually find yourself struggling, and it's kind of nice and kind of rewarding in its own weird sense to struggle, watch your characters die, and then kind of come back at it and try to, you know, do more with those characters. It's a lot of fun, and I have been enjoying it so far. Besides the combat, besides item world, right, we do have things like the story. The story I'm not going to get into because honestly, it's what you expect. It's a Disgaea game, right? We're all degenerates here. We all understand what Disgaea is. It's funny as fuck, right? Like, that's what Disgaea is. Now, let's talk about kind of the main screen here, because there are some things that are pretty cool, and then we'll transition to, is it free to play friendly? Is it pay to win? So you do have missions in this game. So like most gacha games, it's super fulfilling when you are able to get your missions. They do have a AP generation system and a energy system as well. They also have gold. Now you do get daily missions and monthly missions. You do have friends, of course. You do have bingo boards, right? So there's a bingo board that I'm doing right now. You do have a regular shop, but the regular shop is combined with the purchase shop in some ways. So you can, for example, buy equipment, and then buying equipment with gold, right, gets you points essentially, and it gets you able to access the challenge lottery. Now, you can, of course, buy quartz and stuff and all of that. As free to play right now, I haven't found a need to, but I've definitely had some shitty pulls, and it definitely feels shitty being free to play and pulling shitty pulls, if that makes sense. Let's go and talk about the summons, because I think this will really highlight it. There's only 2 free banners, right? And I think that's the real unfortunate tragedy here. We have, Dark Laharo, we have a new player 7-day special pull, and these are all, this is the first free one, right? So we have 1 free one, another paid banner, another paid banner, another paid banner, another free one, so that's 2 free ones, and then it's all paid. And this is different than War of the Visions, right? Because in War of the Visions, we would have like a step up even for free viz. So it's definitely, the paid wall is definitely there and present in this game. I'm hoping it gets adjusted in the future, but I'm also seeing kind of a lack of easy ways to get gems, right? There is, of course, like clearing the main story. And when you're starting out clearing the story, you get a lot of gems. But as you continue on in the story, all of a sudden you're only getting 10 gems per clear, right? And that's kind of a bummer. In terms of longevity of the game, I see this game just having a massive amount of gameplay for you to keep going. And I am going to show you just a bonus mission here real quick, or the event mission, because I think this is going to be a good highlight of how long you can stick in the game, and how far you're going to be able to go, right? So when you go into the holiday mission here, of course they have special characters which give bonus percentage, right? Because it's going to be a currency event where you're going to exchange your currency for units, and you do get a free unit here, which is super cool. So this is an event that I would recommend farming if you are going to play. So if we go to battle, you'll notice that we have all of these missions. And there's actually a lot of missions. If I go back to the beginning mission here, whether it's story or whatever it is, there's like 4 missions per like chapter essentially. And there's like 5 different episodes. So there is a shit ton of missions to do. And then once you do them all in one mode, you can go to normal. And then once you do them all in normal, you can go to hard. Again, I put, 10 to 12 hours in this game so far, and I haven't even been able to do a normal mission yet. So it's a game that I feel like, is going to have longevity. It's gonna take a long time to get characters developed and grown. And I think that's what I love about it. I know a lot of people love that about Disgaea games in general. And this game is definitely going to offer that in spades. Now, let's go ahead and talk just a little bit about the facilities. This is another aspect of the game, right? So for anyone who's familiar with Disgaea, we do have the Dark Assembly. Now, the Dark Assembly basically lets you pass bills, which increase your account. So this is going to give you like a higher AP count, right? And then you're going to get senators in here that you have to bribe in order to pass buffs for your account. It's pretty funny. You also have the Nether Hospital, right? The Nether Hospital basically gives you rewards on how much you've gotten your ass kicked, right? So you can see I can just claim rewards here for getting my ass kicked by having 50 characters defeated in my composition. They also have a daily doping roulette, which gives you the possibility of getting bonus AP, which is really cool, right? And you can do this daily. So, I mean, it's a lot of fun. It's definitely uniquely Disgaea, and I think that's kind of the way to think about this game. If you are planning on coming in as free to play, I would say make sure you re-roll for Desco. Desco is definitely a really powerful character from what I can tell. If you are planning to pay, they do have a pass system, and they have 2 different passes that you can get. I think you have to choose one or the other. Also, if you are planning on paying, make sure you buy the beginning packs right now, because they do have multiple 4-star printies, which are very powerful for you. All right, everybody. Well, that was quite the video. I hope all of you guys enjoyed it. As always, if you want to support me, you can use my affiliate link, dig.gs/coins. If you're buying anything on Amazon, just type that in and then go to your purchase window. You don't even have to buy the coins. Just flags everything in your box, and it helps support me. Thank you so much, and have a great rest of your day. If you want more content like this, please post in the comments down below. Again, I'm not sure this is a game that I'm going to feature on my channel, but I'm having a lot of fun with it, so you might see it for the next couple of weeks.